Good afternoon. After this expiry, what's the view? What would you look out for in the next couple of days?
Good afternoon, Pankaj. Well, we have seen some good positive momentum coming in last 10-12 days in Nifty. However, now Nifty is now headed toward its resistance zone of 7950, 7970. In the first week of December itself, we have seen that market had corrected from this 7970 zone to 7550. So probably that it's again can act as a resistance going ahead. We can see some minor profit booking from this resistance level, but we are not anticipating any major downside from current levels, because if we observe the weekly charts of Nifty, then a strong positive reversal had been formed at lower levels around 7550. So I think this momentum going ahead would continue, and once this 7970 resistance is broken, we can see this markets heading towards 8100, 8150 in next month itself. So we are trading with positive biasness, but certainly a slight amount of caution is to be kept till the 7970 is crossed. Any dips in the first half of the first 2 weeks of next series would be again a good opportunity to go long if it comes around 7800, 7850 zone for targets around 8150.
Right, but overall the view on the market seems to be on the positive side, quite bullish.
Yeah, overall the view is on the positive side, since we have seen some good reversals happening on the weekly charts itself. So we are trading with a positive biasness. Even if any corrections comes, as I told, that will again be just an opportunity to go long.
Right. How would you look at to play into this rally? Very, very high beta names have done well. You think that trend would continue? High beta would continue to outperform the defensive names?
I think it would be more of a sector-specific movement now in next month. We have already seen some good momentum picking up in mid-caps and all names in this series. Going ahead, we are expecting good positive momentum in IT sector, at least in first 15 days of the next series. Probably we have seen these stocks. We have also recommended names such as HCL Tech and Wipro to our clients. Apart from IT, telecom might do good. Bharti and Idea has shown good reversals and are still showing signs of strength. So I think telecom is one sector which would do well, but IT is one sector which would do well. Another sector is housing finance, LIC housing, Diwan housing finance are the two stocks which have shown good momentum with improving volumes over there. So these are the three sectors which we are watching to trade with a positive biasness in the next month.
Right. How would you look at the ADAG pack? Reliance Infra once again making days high. It's around the 550 mark. It's up 6.5% right now.
Pankaj, the stock has been forming higher top, higher bottom from last 2 or 3 months. But probably if we just observe the charts, then from the start of September itself, this uptrend had started. And any impulsive 5-wave up move is generally followed by a 3-wave corrective move. Now, after this up move, we are seeing that the stock is in a 5th wave of up leg, which is the last leg of an up move. After that, ABC corrective move could be expected in this stock. So we are not recommending to create any long positions in this. Slight upside momentum is possible in next week in these stocks. In Reliance Infra, if we specifically say, then 61.8% retracement would come around 590, 595 range. So all those traders who have already created long positions in this stock at lower levels, as of now can continue to hold the stock with stop loss keeping below 500. And when the stock comes around 590, 593, one can look to book profits in long positions and exit from that stock. We are not very bearish on the stock, and that's why we are not recommending to create any short positions, since the momentum is quite positive in this stock. But definitely creating fresh longs, there is not the risk reward is not favorable at this point of time. So around 590, 95, I think it would be a good time to look to book profits in this in the next month.
Right, Ruchit, just stay on with us, about a minute remaining for closing, and Reliance Infra there you saw is at the day's highest point. Nifty is up 46 points, Sensex is up 139 points, SBI down about 2 rupees, Vedanta down 1.5, Hindalco down about 0.18%, ICICI Bank down 0.6, Axis Bank down 1.3, 449, ITC up about 0.75%, NTPC up about 0.86, Coal India up 1.92%. Idea Cellular 1.5% higher, 143. Tata Steel up about 50 paisa. No major move actually over there. ONGC up about 0.31%. Reliance up 0.7. Power Grid up about 0.5. Z Entertainment up 2.5%, 438. Infosys is up about 2%. Tata Power flat with a positive bias, but really no major change. GAIL up close to 2%. HDFC Limited up about 2.5%. BPCL up about 25 paisa. Bharti Airtel 1.5% higher, 5 rupees higher. Adani Ports down about 0.25% actually. Sun Pharma up about 1%. HDFC Bank up about 0.76. That's the closing bell. 44 points higher for the Nifty, 142 for Sensex, 7,940. By any means, it's a very, very good close. The good probably the adjusted close today would be slightly more volatile or more different for a lot of names. That is, of course, because of expiry and the sort of impact that you see over there. But apart from that, there is probably nothing much to take away in today's market. Let's start with the top gainers. HDFC was the top gainer. HDFC was up 2.42%. Z Entertainment up 2.3%. GAIL up close to 2%. HCL Tech up close to 2% or so. Infosys up 1.9%, 1,107 rupees for Infosys. Coal India is up 1.8%, 328 for Coal India. Idea up 1.6, closer to 144. Bharti up 1.5, 338 for Bharti. ACC up 1.3, 1,368. Sun Pharma was up closer to about 1% or so. Bajaj Auto, Wipro, Kotak Bank, Maruti Suzuki are some of the other gainers. Gains to the tune of 0.7 to about 1% each for these names. Some of the losers now. So PNB was down 1.5. Vedanta was down 1.6. Axis Bank down 1.1. Yes Bank down about 1% or so. Hero MotoCorp was down 1%. Ambuja Cement down about 0.7. Dr. Reddy's down 0.5%. L&T down about 0.6%. These are broadly the nifty losers that had some volumes over there. In terms of top gainers, Reliance Infra, of course, clearly hitting the charts. 547 for Reliance Infra, 6.25% higher. It's a monster move. It's a big move that we're talking about. Dalmia Bharat was up 5%. Jet Airways was up close to 8%, 709 for Jet Airways. JM Financial 11% higher. HDIL up 6%. India Cements up 7%. Deepak Fertilizer up 6.5%. Mandana Industry was up 6.5%. Genus Power was up close to 6.5%. Kaveri Seeds towards the close was up 11%, 353 for Kaveri Seeds. Oriental Hotel was up about 5%. Orchid Pharma, we got you the news flow, was up closer to about 10.5%. Prakash Teelage did well. It was up close to about 5%. Some losers now in the mid-cap space, and let's start with Cadila Healthcare, 327, 15% lower for Cadila Healthcare. MEP Infrastructure was down 3%. But overall, there were not many losers actually in this particular space. So you get a sense that markets were looking in decent. Market were absolutely fine, except Cadila Healthcare, which is, of course, a name that has done well because of a news flow. Not done well because of a news flow over there. We were talking to Ruchit. He's still with us. Ruchit, we spoke about Reliance Infra. What is your view on Cadila? That's a name which was down 15% today.
Pankaj, it's since last 2 months the stock is forming this low top low bottom formation, and today's today's correction after the news flow has been backed by very high volumes. On the low side, I think the stock has crucial support around this 318 mark. If this 318 is breached, then we can see further slide in the stock up to 284, 295 in next few weeks. Probably I think one should still stay away from this stock before doing any kind of bottom fishing. Till there are fresh signs of consolidation again or accumulation again, we can clearly see the stock falling further up to 283, 285 levels.
Right. How would you look at PNB? Among the Nifty pack, it's one of the top losers by far.
If we observe the entire banking sector as a whole, and in last 10-12 trading sessions where we have seen a good bounce back in Nifty, even in Bank Nifty, but this PSU banks have not shown any kind of positive momentum. Instead, the last few sessions were of a sideways. They consolidated in a sideways range, and in yesterday's trading session, some of the stocks have given breakdown from that range. So mid-cap PSU banks such as PNB, Canara Bank, they are showing signs of breakdown from a consolidation range in spite of markets moving up. And the downside momentum has also been backed by a good volume. So I think these names could correct in going ahead. PNB major support is placed around 108, 109. So I think this stock would correct up to 108 rupees. So I think one should still stay away from creating any long positions in this mid-cap PSU space.
Right. Overall banking space, how is it looking? Because Nifty Bank has also been a big underperformer versus the markets.
Going ahead, I think Bank Nifty would continue to underperform the overall markets. 17,000 to 17,200 as a very strong resistance for this index. And if we see stock specific components in this index, none of the stocks are showing that would give much a bigger rally from current levels. The highest weightage in this sector among the private sector banks is in HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank and Axis Bank. HDFC Bank, although is stable and is looking that it would remain in the range with positive biasness, but ICICI Bank and Axis Bank are still forming a low top, low bottoms, and this move in last 4-5 trading sessions just seemed to be a pullback move. We have not seen any kind of reversal formations in this stock on daily or weekly charts, so I think this would pull the Bank Nifty down again. Also among the PSU banks, as I mentioned, State Bank is going to be range bound with slightly negative bias. Mid-cap PSU banks, although they do not have much weightage in the Nifty Bank, but I think mid-cap PSU banks could show decent correction in next 1 or 2 months. So I'm not seeing any fresh trigger for a significant upside in the Bank Nifty going ahead. Nifty's positive momentum could be led by stocks other than banking, such as IT and other sectors. So probably I think Bank Nifty would continue to underperform the Nifty, and 17,000, 17,200 would be very difficult task to cross going ahead.
Right. Petronet LNG, any view? 3.5% higher, closer to 256.
This stock has been forming this higher top, higher bottom formation, and any corrections we have seen in the past, traders or investors have used that as an opportunity to accumulate. The stock has been moving up with good volume, so I think this momentum could continue going ahead. Those who are already holding the stock or those who have already bought the stock should continue to hold the stock. One can keep a revised stop loss below 235 on the long positions. On the high side, a minor resistance in the stock is coming around 258 to 260, and if that gets crossed, it's possible that in near term we can see the stock going up to 270, 275 range.
What do you think of Voltas? It's crossed 325. It closed above that level. It's seen an expiry now beyond that level. Is that a new range that we are looking at and outperformance can continue?
Yeah, overall, this stock is showing a good strength in the last few days. In fact, we had also recommended this stock to our clients at lower levels. On the high side, I think the recent all-time high which were there, 350, 355. If anyone has a bit longer term perspective of 3 months or more, it's quite possible the stock could test again around 350, 355. From trading perspective, any dips would again give a good opportunity to buy the stock. 295 has now become a good support base for the stock. So any dips around 295, 300 should again be looked to accumulate this stock for a target of 300, for a target of 350 to 355 in next 3 months perspective.
But you would be buyers at these levels as well?
I would wait for some dips to create fresh long positions around 295 to 300 range.
Right. And before that, you would not be looking to take any positions into these names. Okay. Let's talk about Kaveri Seeds. 353 towards closing, 11% higher. You think it was broadly the expiry impact, why it was so volatile?
This stock more or less has been forming this low top, low bottom formation since in the month of April itself, and still there are no signs of reversals in this stock. Although major support is seen around 290 to 300 range, so I think the stock could come to that could come to that range. Unless we see any signs of reversal on weekly or monthly charts in this stock, one should clearly avoid doing any kind of bottom fishing. Today's move was seemed to be purely based on because of expiry date. On the lower levels, I think one should still wait for a range of 290, which could act as a long-term support.
Right. How would you look at Jet Airways from tomorrow? It will be a part of FNO series. Is that a reason to cheer? 6%, 7% gains today?
Yeah, today's move, in fact, seem to be more based on that news that it would be included in the FNO from tomorrow. However, if we observe the last 4-5 months, then the stock is already in an uptrend and has been forming this higher top, higher bottom formation. On the high side, it's quite possible the stock would continue its up move up to 770, 775 range, where some profit booking could be seen. So one could stay long in the stock with positive biasness for targets around 770 to 775 in near term.
Right. Ruchit, thank you so much for taking out time for us, and wishing you and your entire team at Angel Broking a very happy 2016 moving ahead.